fortunate here at the Out of Pro shop to have the full range of the browning equipment. Feeder and pole fishing, float fishing, a whole bunch of extra facets of fishing which I'm quite excited to get to know about. But realizing what feeder and pole fishing means for especially competitive anglers, it is our future. For if you need or want or aspire to have provincial or national colors, that's the way you need to follow if you're a bank angler. You'll need to get involved in feeder fishing. Now, it's amazing the development and I'll almost say science that's gone into a lot of these products, especially the baits and some of the equipment you use. These nets which pegs on the bank and you're sitting right there. It's such a convenient, I call it a bit of a lazy man's fishing, but it's a very relaxing type of fishing because your net's right there, you don't even have to move. You sit in one spot and you keep on fishing. Another thing that's taken off in this country is these browning buckets to mix your feed. And firstly, very well thought out. You do your mixtures in the top and you keep all your dry products in the bottom. Chuck it in here, mix it, and it's got a lid. Now what has happened, what is most unique about this whole setup is the fact that it kept the bait so fresh. You can fish now all day without anyone, especially in summer. After a couple of hours you can smell your bomb. That it's going a bit off, it's going a bit sour, so most guys will mix a little bit at a time the whole time. But with this you can do your day's mix and keep it in here, and it actually keeps it very fresh. So there's a whole bunch of extra equipment I don't want to go too deep in. You're going to join us for our first session, which is quite exciting. My first session of feeder fishing, and as it always happens, we had a big cold front but still managed to get some results. Okay, now to keep it interesting for ourselves as well as you as the viewer, we had to test this a bit, the whole feeder thing being my first time, and Kirby went with. So what we did is we had the feeder rod with one hook, using only browning feed and browning flavors that goes with it. And then Kirby put out a normal bank angling rod with one hook to compete, and we can keep tallying. On that we used the new NutriCore dips to see how that worked and compared. Knowing Kirby, he couldn't just have one rod in the water, so he put a second rod in the water with two hooks, which he fished normal bank angling style, using normal dips available on the market, as well as the same feed as his other rod. So that's the objective. Let's see how they compare, and to give a bit of information that's necessary, for the last 3 bank angling trips I've joined Kirby, he actually beat me. Quite a while. I'm quite happy to visit the Malachite again. As you can see, the river is quite low, which makes it possible for us to try a new facet of angling. And what I'm saying new, it's new to me. Completely something I haven't done before, and it's called feeder fishing. Now, what is feeder fishing? In essence, it's glorified bank angling, or papgooi as we all know it. It's where the world is developed to, and South Africa is going the same route. As for bank angling, you can no longer receive provincial or protea colors. You have to do feeder fishing. In essence, it's a different style rod, a little bit different style of fishing, using cages and method feeders, a very soft tip, and the rest of it comes down to bank angling again. Another distinctive difference is fishing only one hook. Now, as you can see, I've got all funny things. You know what I like about the overseas or the European food, and this is Browning's food or feed range, which has got an abundance of different types, different flavors for different conditions. But if you actually read on the back of these packets, these guys are doing it right. They've been doing it for years. All right, and why I say that, if you look at the nutritional value that you find in a packet like that, percentages of up to 23% protein. Now, as we all know, carp needs protein. Another fact is that our dams have been conditioned on many different feeds, different types and different brands, which is a mealie base. A lot of these are mealie base as well. So when you try this, my prediction on it is fish will maybe take a while to get used to this, or will they? It's got the same base but a whole bunch of extra nutrition. Now, something very interesting I read up in carp breeders all over the world is they found that carp are more prone to eat high nutritional value food. What does that mean? It means if you put two types of food in the water for a period of time, the exact same time and period, and the one having a lot more nutritional value and the other one doesn't, the carp will eventually start rather feeding on the high nutritional value food. Now, that is what all of them have tested and tried. In South Africa, we haven't really looked at it much. Yes, in specimen, the guys do believe in that and have gone that way with boilies and certain other baits. Now, logically, it will work with any type of carp fishing and even freshwater fishing as well. So where does feeder fishing fit in? In my opinion, between conventional bank angling and specimen angling, you've got feeder fishing. Also considering the fish's safety, looking after the fish and giving them proper food. Very high concentrate flavors are getting used, and this is one of the very big sports in Europe, as bank angling is our biggest participated sport in South Africa. Okay, so what we've got is we've rigged ourselves with a box, the Browning box, specifically designed for this. And if I move the bucket around, you'll see it's got your toolbox, little drawers right in front of you. This is the Ambition, a very simple box. Now, this particular piece of equipment is very modular. You can buy a whole bunch of extra little things to fit your rods on. You can buy extra tables, all kind of additional McGaffers, which I'm sure we'll find out about in the future when we start fishing with some pros. Now, for now, what excites me is to try it out myself for the first time. We've done a whole bunch of different facets of fishing, and we've shown you guys the experiences. Now, this is something totally new. However, the foundation still stays, as we all know, bank angling. So I've started mixing some feed. One thing I must say is obviously there's gone a lot of work into this. The binding qualities of this is phenomenal. Within 2 minutes you could actually push it and it binds. And you can add a little bit more. They don't even give you a ratio to what to the exact density you want it. How quickly you want it to bind, or how tight you want it to bind, how quickly you want it to disperse in the water. So once the fish start feeding quicker, you can make it a bit looser so that you can get quicker bites. If the fish are slower, water's colder, maybe cold fronts like we've got now, then you can make it a bit stiffer so it stays on your feeder for a bit longer. Now, the whole thing with feeder fishing is you get all kinds of different feeders. You get little cages, which I'll show you guys just now. It's actually on the packet here. Steel cages, wire cages, which you can put particles in like hemp seed and fish maggots and earthworms, and you really can go to the stores with all the kind of bait you can use for carp. So this allows you to do that. Today particularly, I'm going to use a method feeder, which looks very much like our conventional bank angling feeders. I see there's one lying right here. There's a small one. Okay, but this one is just slightly different, so it can lie flat on the floor. So you'll fill it with feed and it will fall on the floor lying like that, with your hook simply coming out the bottom here. Right close to the feed as well. With the cage feeders, it will drop on the bottom, the bait will disperse, it will start falling on you. Just move it a little bit so that your hook lies in the middle of the bait. With this, you can fold the hook back onto it, or whichever way you prefer. We're going to try a couple of ways. So enough talking for now, let's get going. I think the same applies. We're going to have a little focus spot where I'm going to put the feed in. Quite excited in trying this new feed because it smells completely different. You can smell the goodness in it. Now, I see there's about 15 different flavors, even fishy flavors for winter time. when the barbels won't bother you, can start fishing fishy flavors. And our waters, that means you'll catch a couple of big carp as well. Then they've got high concentrate. I'm using bitter mandel today, which is basically an almond, which is just very high concentrate. A sweet vanilla, which same story, very high concentrate. And then the very popular and well-known B22, which Browning makes as well. They call it crazy liquid, and if you smell it you want to drink it. So why wouldn't a carp have that? So let's get going. All I'm going to do is I'm going to fit this to my line. I'm going to put a small hook link using 9 pound and a very small hook, and I'm going to first start fishing normal bank angling style. Single hook, 9 pound line on a short leader. I've used fluorocarbon Siglon, 16 pound, so 1.5 meter leader just to lie it nice. I'm fishing in fairly deep water now. For the guys that's been to the Malachite before, you will know the size of the fish that sometimes come out here as well. Variety of fish, yellowfish, mudfish, carp. I've caught carp here up to 10 kilo in bank angling and lots of barbel. So I think this is going to be quite an interesting excursion. We've got a massive front over us. The wind is pumping, so we're sitting at the bottom here protected from the wind. And speaking to the guys that didn't have a great weekend, the last 3 days fishing was not good at all. So we're going to try and turn that today and see if Browning or the feeder method is going to make a difference for us. Okay, just a couple of other things. Looking through their baits, they've got these little chewies, which is a soft little, very strong flavor. This is the cream vanilla that I'm going to use to start off with. That you obviously going to add a bit into your, just a bit of this flavor into your feeder. Okay, I've tied my trace. I've got a method feeder on, which will lie flat on the bottom. You've got this nifty little magafter, which you can fill up now with some millibom. Push it in there, nice and neat, just enough. When you take your feeder, method feeder, you just stick it in there. And push it up. And there you've got a nice little, I broke it when I pushed it out, but a nice little ball, and you can decide if you want to put your hook in that, but that's holding your bomb. We'll put that there. And then another nice little Browning hybrid to do all your baiting, your little scissors, needles, everything comes in this little kit. And something that's turned very popular on all freshwater anglers is this nifty bucket, as you can see. Put all your feed and stuff in the bottom you want to use. You've got your top, which you do all your mixing, and then obviously it comes with the lid that goes on top to keep your bait nice and fresh. So I'm going to put one of these little chewies, they call them. This is a vanilla flavored. I'm going to use vanilla for the first bait and see how that works. A very soft chewy, you can shape it, you can size it. So I'm definitely going to put one of them on and see if that does the trick. Here we go. A bit of sweet vanilla spray, the bomb, and we're ready to go. Now with bank angling, you guys know we're used to a strike indicator or a policeman. Look at the tip of this rod. It's designed to actually show you the bite. So you sit with your rod and see when the fish takes it. And that's how it's designed to work. So it comes down to the weight now. Everything nice, neatly done. You can see the chair's got a little, it's actually made for pole fishing, this but it works as well. You want your rod 90% to the water so you can see the bite. And this is very nice. You sit, everything's with you, you hardly have to get up. You can just sit and wait. If the fish comes, I'll just pick up my net, I'll land it, and I've got the Browning kip net here, which will put most of the fish in. Now this is lazy man's fishing. You sit right here on your chair and this fish is not playing along for camera. And you play it to your feet. Got the net ready. This is actually very enjoyable. It's so relaxing. You just sit on your chair, put your bait out, start playing around with the dips and stuff, what we enjoy most of this type of fishing. You bring it right here. That's not gonna work. Okay. Not that relaxing. Okay. I think it's a muddy. The way it fights, it feels like a muddy. Yellow. Now it's a lovely crisp morning, definitely the tail of a cold front. The wind blew us to pieces yesterday. There's a nice chill in the air. Yesterday afternoon we tried and we started the feeder fishing. We got interest but very slow and sly bites. We got the one yellowfish and then packed it up with the wind. So this morning quite eager to start early, put a bit of feed in, the Browning feed, which I'm sure is getting the fish onto the spot, so quite excited to start this morning. I don't think it's going to be mayhem and bites with this cold front, but we're definitely going to give it a good go. Now behind me you'll see all the lovely campsites here at the Malachite, just past Parys on the Vaal River. A lot of fly fishermen come here for the rapids, and then it's got nice big deep pools to do a bit of bank angling, specimen angling, some big barbels lurking in this water. And I've had some very nice catches, even on bank angling, up to 10 kilo carp. So quite excited. Who knows what's going to take the bait today. That's the thing about fishing, that you never know what to expect. So it's an open card. Okay, now this is our first excursion. We've got our Easy Fish trailer built by Easy Trailers, which they've put a lot of thought into what an angler needs. And one of my favorite parts is firstly your rods fit into these compartments. On the other side it's a single long compartment. On this side there's 3 different compartments, which really makes a difference for anybody camping, nevertheless anglers. But it's really built for anglers. You can fit a tent on top, you can fit all your accessories in. It's got rod holders in the back for standing rods straight up. And yeah, all in all, very well finished. It's a bolted trailer, probably one of the only bolted trailers on the market. Nice high suspension, bigger wheels for those really secret spots you need to get to. And yeah, so far so good. You might see us use this trailer a couple of times forward. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that, spending some time with them. Packing space is the main objective. Being organized, the main objective in a trailer. And these compartments really help with it. A nice big nose cone as well. And a lot of space inside the trailer. Everything well thought out. because nice strong shocks for the lid, and I think if you want to lock this trailer you'll need a couple of locks, but that's the price to pay to have such organized packing space. Now if you want to have a look at the Easy trailer or the Easy Fish trailer, come and visit us at the ASFN Outdoor Pro shop in Irene, just off the R21, Nalmapius Drive. If we're not out fishing with it, it will be at the store, so you can have a quick squiz and look at this well thought out trailer. Alright, so now it's just quite easy mixing a fresh batch of bait or feed and putting a couple of balls in the water, putting the bait out. Nice and beautiful morning. It's actually lovely just sitting here, so catching a fish is always a bonus in such lovely areas like this. An absolute picturesque creation. I'm quickly just going to grab Dutch Danger. Today I'm going to add a bit of crispy carp, which is one of their secret mixes, and see if that will do the trick.
Feels like it's stuck, or it's just a big fish hanging. I'm going to put a little bit more pressure on it. Second bite now. The previous fish I lost to a reef here, that was around here, and I've got a bite just now again, a second bite. So the fish are starting to play around now. Andre's already got one fish on the board, now I've got one as well. So now we're back to square one again.
That's not a fish, man.
Let's just see if we can land it first. Here we go. In the net. So now we 1-1. Let's try to get these hooks out quickly. Little hook has got it in the corner of the mouth here. Very tiny hooks. There you go. We're going to throw it in the net to see how many fish we catch during the day. And then we're going to compare the video fishing with normal bank angling, and we'll see who wins after the day.
We're halfway through our little competition excursion, so make sure you join us next week where we have a look at what the end results were. Look at the size of this muddy.